Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're listening from. I am Katie Turtell, and I am the artistic director and founder of the Appalachian Chamber Music Festival. I'm so delighted to welcome people who are listening at the barn today of Harpers Ferry, as well as everyone who's listening online on whatever platform you use. And I am live from the Claravale Village Hall, from my lovely village of Claravale, where I live just on the border of Northumberland County in Northern England. And we have a really, really great concert today with people coming from all different time zones. Super exciting. And I don't want to chat too much now, except to say that we're going to have three main themes in the concert today. We're going to first be talking about unity and community through performance, then education, and lastly, our big mission statement of history, nature, and culture, and celebrating that in Harpers Ferry and the whole area around there. So without further ado, I welcome our first artist this evening, who is also a festival artist who will be performing this summer live with me and everyone else, the fabulous Rochelle Hunt, who is joining us live from Frankfurt, Germany. Hello, Rochelle.
Hello.
So Rochelle is a violinist in the Frankfurt Radio Symphony. She's a former Fulbright scholar. She's won several international competitions, prize winner in the Corpus Christi competition and winner of the Kingsville competition. She's an incredibly passionate chamber music player, and our special tie is that Rochelle and I have known each other since the 8th grade and have played music together ever since. So she really represents the idea of unity and community on all levels. So I have to share that Rochelle is also just performed quite recently, I think in the past maybe 6 months or the year, Beethoven Opus 18 No. 1, which is featured in the Beethoven Archive in Bonn. Isn't that correct?
Not quite, but yes, we did record for the Beethoven Archives a concert in December with my colleagues and I of Beethoven Opus 18 No. 1 actually, and Opus 137, which is the fugue, but only the fugue is going in the archives. And I'm not sure if it's the archives in a Bonn or a different archives, but yes, that one is going in the Beethoven archives, but we did record both.
Well, nonetheless, it's just incredible to hear you play Beethoven, and Rochelle will also be performing Beethoven this summer in the festival in multiple performances. So thank you so much for giving us a little taste of that, and great to see Nami. I always enjoy hearing you both play. It's always such a pleasure. So thanks so much for that. And you know, Rochelle, like we've known each other forever. We're really good friends. You're going to hear that sentence a lot tonight, people who are watching, because I really believe music brings people together, and playing music with people you love is one of the greatest gifts that exists, in my opinion. But Rochelle, you know, you grew up in Northern Virginia with me, very close to the region where ACMF is taking place. And gosh, I mean, like your sister's even hiked the Appalachian Trail, hasn't she? I mean, you have a lot of ties to the region. What do you take from the world you've traveled through music? Gosh, I mean, you've traveled more than anyone I know, I think. What do you bring to the region when you come, or what drives you to return?
It's always, for me, important to come home. My parents still live in the area, and like I said, my sister did through hike the entire Appalachian Trail. So I learned a lot about the Appalachian Trail through her, obviously. But it's always kind of like a homecoming. It's, yeah, the place that I feel is my roots. And it's a really great place where I can get in touch with nature, because even though I spend a lot of time indoors because I have to practice, I always love exploring nature. And I mean, Katie, we've gone hiking together when we've been able to travel together and just always try to explore nature. But yeah, Harpers Ferry and the whole region there is especially beautiful. Even though I've been in many places, that place is Harpers Ferry is special in the whole area. And I really enjoy, connecting with nature there. And I'm so excited to also bring music and connect with nature at the same time.
As am I. Rochelle, always such a pleasure. It's so great to have you on. Thank you for starting up our concert. I'll see you soon.
Yes, thank you for your support. Enjoy the rest of the concert.
Thanks. Bye, Rochelle. Now I'm going to introduce our next festival artist, who unfortunately is working in Norfolk, Virginia today, so he can't be with us, but he's recorded a especially amazing performance just for today. His name is Skyler Slack, and he's also originally from the Northern Virginia region. He's from Alexandria, Virginia, so we share this common bond of the people who are kicking off the concert tonight of being from the region. So Skyler is just an incredible cellist. He's one of the most passionate, interesting people I know. We've been having incredible back and forths about this season's program and lots more. But Skyler is a cellist in the Richmond Symphony, and he's played with some of the top orchestras in the country quite regularly, the Cleveland Orchestra, National Symphony Orchestra, Baltimore Symphony Orchestra. He is also on faculty at Randolph-Macon College, and he's performed internationally as a recitalist and a chamber musician. He's just a real all-star in every way. But less talking from me. I'm going to let you hear for yourself. So this is an incredible performance recorded especially for today by Skyler Slack of Dan Visconti's Hard Knock Stomp. Oh, bravo to Skyler. That was so fantastic. And I'm actually going to bring on our next guest to applaud with me. Yay, which will become clear in a second. Hello, Steve. Now, I had to bring Steve on because it was Skyler who introduced me to Steve. So this is Steve Snowden, everyone. Welcome, Steve. Steve is a incredibly talented composer from the Boston region. He's executive director of the Fast Forward Festival in Austin, Texas. And also, I found out yesterday, forages mushrooms, which is, first page level awesomeness in my book. But Steve, it's so great to have you here. And I know Skyler is so excited to have you here too. When we were discussing repertoire earlier this year, Skyler said, well, you have to check out Steve's Appalachian Polaroids. It's one of my absolute favorite pieces of music. And I listened to it and just completely fell in love with it. So we are so looking forward to playing your work multiple times this summer.
Yeah, and I can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah, this is exciting.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Steve is also going to be part of our education workshops and many other things. So stay tuned for all the latest info as we progress in the next few months. But now we're going to segue sort of to talking a little bit about education and what the festival wants to achieve with that. So, Steve, when you're not like writing, your commissions and you're not doing residencies and various things like that, I mean, I know that education is a huge part of your ethos and what you believe in and stuff. And why do you think it's so important to instill music in the lives of young people?
Well, I guess I would say maybe you might speak more on the subject or have other people talking about it as well. And I don't have as much experience as an educator as some others, at least not in such a formal sense. I typically do like university residencies where I'll work with students and coach ensembles and things like that. But I do think that one of the most important things about music, of course, we can listen to it, we can appreciate it, it can help us understand our society better or the past, all those things. But it's also a wonderful thing to bring people together. And so I've actually worked with a number of like younger players or amateur players before, people who are adults who have careers in other fields, and the kind of joy that they get from making music with other people is a really unique sort of thing. And for some it might be like sports. You play on a softball team, you make friends, you work together. I mean, there's a lot to learn there, and that's a lot of fun as well. And I think for a lot of people, music is that as well, and in my opinion, at least, like even more comprehensive. So even if you have a young person who is interested in music and they're not going to pursue it professionally, I think it helps them to understand better how to work with other people. It helps them understand, maintain friendships. For me, I'm a horn player actually, so I played in band. I played in band in high school, and in college as well. And I was an education major for a while until I switched to composition. But the friendships that I made just in that process of having to figure out how to make beautiful music with someone else or with a group of people, it's not an easy thing to do. But that process really helps you get to know them. It helps you get to understand yourself as well and how you can work with other people successfully.
God, that was just so well put, Steve. Thank you so much for that. And listen, I'm going to put you on the spot here and just ask you, really briefly, if you can just tell us a little bit about Appalachian Polaroids and your inspiration for that work that we'll be performing this summer.
Sure. So I'm originally from the Ozarks. So I grew up close to Branson, Missouri, like right near the Arkansas border. And I actually wrote this piece for a string quartet called the Aeolus Quartet, and they all have connections to the Appalachian region. And I think they kind of saw that cultural connection between the Ozarks and the Appalachian Mountains, because culturally they are quite similar. And so I wanted to write a piece that would express this idea, this feeling that I had as someone who grew up in a very rural area. Our closest neighbor was like 2 miles away. Going from that to going to a university where I was in a big town. And since then I've lived in lots of cities and in rural places. I actually live in a very rural area now, about an hour outside of Boston. But there was this feeling that I had of as someone who comes from a very rural area and being in this urban environment. And And it was just really difficult for me to explain that to anyone. And so I thought that the best thing would do would be to put that to music. So it has this, my goal was to try to express this kind of joy and hardship that comes with living a fairly isolated and rural life. It was inspired by the photography of Shelby Lee Adams, who is someone in Kentucky who's done a lot of photography of like rural areas of the people that live in some of these areas. Oftentimes, some of the most like poverty-stricken areas in the country as well. And also Sheila K. Adams, a recording of her singing "Black is the Color," which is a pretty well-known folk song. But I wanted to take that style of singing, that sort of Appalachian style of singing, which I think is very unique to this part of the world, and try to express that musically through a string quartet, which we consider to be a very kind of like, it's classical. It's like more like high society or something like that. And for me, being a hillbilly, I just see it as 4 string players. I mean, I'm not thinking about the weight of the repertoire that has been written for the string quartet. I'm just thinking, here are these 4 instruments, and I want to try to do something musically with that. So that was the result of that was Appalachian Polaroids.
I mean, it's so much completely fits into the ethos of what we're trying to achieve in the festival, this work. So I think that's why I was immediately drawn to it. So I know everyone will feel the same as I do, or very similar, have really strong reactions to your work. So Steve, thank you so much for coming on, and look forward to seeing you this summer.
Same. Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, cool. See you later.
All right, see you.
And we're going to bring on our next festival artist and performer today, the wonderful Audrey Pride. Audrey, welcome. Hello from Knoxville, Tennessee. It's so great to see you. So Audrey is a violinist in the Knoxville Symphony. She's performed all over the U.S., all over Germany, I mean, even Oman. She led the section at Castleton Festival under the late Lauren Mizell, illustrious Lauren Mizell. I'm sure some of our listeners might have gone out to Castleton Festival. And man, it's just so wonderful to have you here. I told Audrey when we were doing the tech rehearsal, okay, I need to be careful because it's really easy. I love all these people who are coming on today, and I could just easily have a Zoom chat with Audrey right now. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to we're going to hear some music. Audrey recorded an incredible transcription, I should say, of Simple Gifts and Ashokan Farewell with her husband, who is away working today. Her husband is Alex Pride, who's an incredible freelance trumpeter, has held he's had acting positions with the Utah Symphony and the Charlotte Symphony, played with orchestras like Cincinnati and Cleveland. So without further ado, this is Audrey and Alex Pride with their performance of Simple Gifts and Ashokan Farewell, and we'll see you in a second, Audrey. Woohoo! Audrey! Bravo! We have applause in the room for you. Sorry, it looks like it just got cut up the last half a second of that performance, but you know, hey, it's digital. Like, this stuff happens.
Yes.
I think if we have a digital event that has only a few glitches, that's a huge success. So Audrey, I know that was such a touching performance. I know that Ashokan Farewell is a very special piece in your household full of music educators and musicians. Do you want to just tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I probably started playing that piece when I was maybe 6 years old. My mom plays piano, and she also composes and arranges a little bit of music. And so she arranged a version for myself and her playing piano, and my older sister also playing violin, and my dad on trumpet, actually. So I've been playing this for many, many years.
You're like the Von Trapp family of the Midwest. I love it. It's so great. It's so great. And of course, you know, lots of people will know the Ashokan Farewell from the very famous Ken Burns Civil War documentary. I think it's very evocative of the region. Wouldn't you agree, Audrey?
Absolutely, yes. It's such a beautiful melody.
You're definitely the specialist of this work. So, because we're talking about education, I just wanted to ask you a little bit, Audrey, about when you worked for Cue the Music, which is an El Sistema program in Dayton, as when you were in the Dayton Philharmonic Orchestra. And could you just tell us a little bit about, you know, the impact you saw being part of a music education system like that?
Absolutely, yeah. So when I was playing in the Dayton Philharmonic in Ohio, which is, I'm kind of from the Dayton region, I worked in an after-school program called Cue the Music, and it was a daily after-school program that was free to at-promise youth, and we offered instruction to students every day after school for about 3 hours. We would have sectionals, and then we would have orchestra time. And it was a really special experience, and really, really exciting to see the progress that the students there made. And it was just a really great thing to be involved in.
I'm sure it was incredible to have you as part of that community, Audrey. And we look forward to all of the great just energy you bring to your teaching that some students will get to experience this summer, as well as your incredible violin performing. So thank you so much, Audrey, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Thanks, Katie.
Bye. And we have our next guest is somebody I have to say is just incredibly special to me. I'm not going to know where to start with her, but I'm going to go ahead and bring her on. This is Greta Sandberg. Hello, Greta. Thanks for joining us. Greta Sandberg is one of the most incredible women I know, and she's been a huge inspiration to me. She's somebody I've known my entire musical life because she was my orchestra director at McLean High School. I was a student of hers. And I mean, gosh, where do I start with you? Ms. Sandberg. You've been a music educator for over 50 years. I mean, which she was, you know, like one of the most beloved teachers, I think, probably in the county, Fairfax County, where I went to school. And I do not say that with any level of exaggeration. It's very true. And what does she do? But she goes out to retire in rural Highland County, Virginia, and starts her own string program that has just been extraordinary and made such an impact. And I have to say that it's been a huge inspiration to me to see you do that, and a huge, huge inspiration in the creation of the festival, what I want to hopefully achieve one day with the education. So thank you so much for just being you and being here.
So I love being here with you.
So yeah, I mean, maybe you could tell us a little bit about what you've started out in Highland County and the impact you've seen and what it's kind of become in the past 10 years.
Well, when I finished my teaching at McLean High School, I spent a year thinking, what do I want to do? You know, I retired, and was this the end? And I finally decided, no, this wasn't the end. I was going to start a program. I watched this community for about 20 years with a second home. And so we started the string program. And one of the things that prompted me was that rural areas are often overlooked for venues for the arts, and especially classical music. This area out here is very rich in traditional arts, visual arts, handicraft arts, music, some fantastic fiddlers out here. And so I wanted to start this program, and so I came in contact with the Garth Newell Music Center in Warm Springs, which I had been a patron of for many, many years. And we started this program, and one of the delights of bringing orchestra, classical orchestra music, plus fiddling and jazz and improvisation, but classical music to these kids and their families, was that it's just like I said, people think, well, you know, they didn't know they liked classical music until they actually were exposed to it. Yeah. So in one of the other things was that our the three counties that we are involved with have not been known to have much contact with each other, but now there's a lot of families and kids who are very good friends. We have a lot of interaction in the counties, which I think is really important. So I think that, you know, being a part of there's no string program out here in the schools, very small schools, but having a string program out here, everybody should have a string program, I think.
I agree. I mean, there's so many parallels and so many similarities, I think, to the region around Harpers Ferry and Charlestown and Shepherdstown. So it's really fascinating.
For sure.
Could I just ask you really quickly, Ms. Sandberg, you know, because you've taught over 50 years and you've seen so much of the world. I mean, you've taken me to Germany as a young person, and the orchestras you set up in exchange. The vast range of musical experience I've had with you have just been profound. And, you know, I guess I'm just wondering, why do you think music education is so important in society, if you had to sum it up?
Well, I would say three things. One is that this gives kids a chance to have family within a school setting. And a lot of kids wouldn't actually stay in school if it weren't for their orchestra, their band, their choir, their drama program. So there's one good point right there, is just, you know, it keeps the kids in school. The family, that is really, you make a family in your orchestra program. And this is one of the things that I think is just so important. The learning skills that you achieve from learning to play an instrument are all the things that employers want from employees. Thinking on their feet, critical thinking skills, working as a team, expressing themselves, analyzing things. Why not learn that through a music program, and then you'll be ready to go out and do whatever you want to do. And I've always said that, you know, if you're going to sit with somebody at a music stand and play music together, you're not going to go out and shoot them, right? You're going to become friends with them, as we found with the exchange between the McLean High School Orchestra and the Detmold Youth Orchestra. is that we developed a lot of strong friendships. So peacekeeping, I think that's one of the best things you can it's peacekeeping. So anyway, my motto is saving the world one string player at a time.
Oh, and you're totally living it. Thanks so much for that. And I think it's only makes sense to have me perform next after that great just talk that's really inspired me. So thanks so much, Greta Sandberg, for coming on today, and look forward to seeing you in August.
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks. So I'm now going to perform. I am also one of the festival artists. I am a cellist, and I'm now going to perform for everyone a great work of music for solo cello called Giulio by Mark Summer. Giulio is a piece that it really, really is quite evocative for me personally of the Appalachian Mountains, and it does make me nostalgic for home. And I do think about the first time I went out to Highland County when I was invited out there to play string quartets by Greta Sandberg when I was a younger person. So this is for Miss Sandberg, Greta Sandberg, and for all of you, this is Giulio by Mark Summer. Just give me a moment as I transition.
Brava, Katie. What a wonderful performance of Julia. That was fantastic.
Hello, Jan. I know you were applauding at home.
It was wonderful.
Thank you so much. I just thought we'd bring on the next guest to do a smooth segue there. So welcome, Jan. That was me performing Julio. And now we have Jan Berea, a member of our board. And Jan is an incredible conductor, incredible artist who lives in Manchester, England. And he is musical director of the Solihull Symphony Orchestra, as well as the Basque Children's Orchestra. And he's conducted in top orchestras in the UK and Spain, Teatro Real in Madrid, Liceo in Barcelona, et cetera, and he teaches at the Leeds College of Music and the Junior RNCM. And you're our last person to just briefly discuss our plans for education. So take it away, Jan.
Oh, thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction, Katie. So
you're welcome.
Yeah. I must say that I'm thrilled and honored to be part of the board of this festival, especially because I know you and I know that this is a labor of love for you. And I know how much you love music and you believe in the change that it can make in society. Also, it's very important that the education program, it's always been at the core of this festival. And in my experience working with amateur orchestras and youth orchestras, I've seen how much an experience like this can change people's lives. It gives them an opportunity to meet people that think alike or that have the same passion for music. These people have found an instrument to be a means of expression, let's say, and they can reach feelings that words cannot through playing their instruments. So it gives them a voice, let's say. It also gives them a purpose. You were talking with Audrey about El Sistema. And in El Sistema, there were a lot of players that in Venezuela, they didn't even have the means to buy an instrument. They came from very low socioeconomic backgrounds. And the chance to play an instrument and have a musical education gave them a purpose in life, kept them out of trouble. And a lot of them have ended up playing in some of the best orchestras in the world. So it was a way out for them, a way to a better life. So, I mean, that's the power of music. It can do as much as that. And such
well put words. Thank you.
And also,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that since we have this educational program in the festival, this will give the players an opportunity to train, but not only to train in playing in a small ensemble or a chamber quartet. They will learn basic skills of communications, as Greta was saying before, but communication of the best kind, because when you have a solo, you'll be listened to very attentively by other players. And you also have the responsibility of listening to others very attentively. So it's the basis of respect, of great communication, empathy, even skills that any civilized society could learn from, really.
Absolutely. It's great. I'm going to just jump in and say really quickly, because I'll talk more about the education maybe at the end of the show, because we do have people waiting, but we have a one-day intensive workshop planned this summer on August 18th, and there's going to be a session, half-day session for young people and a half-day session for adults who are amateur players, and we're going to have so many amazing activities involved in that, including one-on-one coachings and really inspiring and talks and interactive lectures and things like that. And there's also going to be a digital option because everything can also be digital now, which is great. But I think, Jan, that it's just so wonderful. I'm going to keep us going along because we're getting behind. I know I told people this is going to be an hour long. It's going to be a little longer than an hour. But do you have any last words to say before we say goodbye for now and see you soon?
Just congratulate you. It's been a lovely evening, very enjoyable, and I'm sure we have some other fantastic moments to come. So thank you very much for your hard work, and congratulations again.
Yes, thank you so much, Jan. Look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care.
Bye. Take care.
Bye. Okay, and then we're going to introduce our next festival artist, who unfortunately is also working today, but he's recorded an incredible performance, especially for today. And that is violinist Dominic Salarni. Dominic is a member of the New York-based Grammy Award-winning Attacca Quartet. And he is also a member of the Chiarina Chamber Players, which is based in Washington, D.C. I know some of our listeners might be familiar with them already. Really, really incredible things that they're doing. So you should definitely check that out if you're passionate about chamber music or any music, really. He is also just an active chamber musician elsewhere, a clinician, composer, arranger, nationally and internationally. And I think we've had enough chat. I'm going to just put on our lovely performance by Dominic, performing a work by Jessie Montgomery.
Hello, my name's Dominic Salarni, and I play violin with the Attacca Quartet. I'm really excited to be joining the Appalachian Chamber Music Festival this summer, and I'd like to share with you one of my favorite pieces. This is Jessie Montgomery's Rhapsody No. 1 for violin. Please enjoy.
Yay, and bravo to Dominic. That was so amazing. You have to clap if you're watching because I'm sure he'll watch back and be really pleased to see everyone clapping or there in spirit. So that was Dominic Salarni on the violin playing Jesse Montgomery. And I've just had some incredible discussions with Dominic about music from West Virginia. He's very, very passionate and very knowledgeable about music from this region. And he is also a champion of Jesse Montgomery, and I know has played her works in the Ataka Quartet. And we will be performing some Jesse Montgomery as well this summer in the festival. So very excited for that. Speaking of composers, I'm going to bring on our next guest, the wonderful Alva McDonough. Hello, Alva.
Katie, it's such a pleasure to be here. What a wonderful occasion. It's just such a stunning lineup of musicians and artists that you've put together, and it's a real testament to yourself, so huge well done. It's just great.
Oh, well, thanks. And, you know, Alva and I are no stranger to our live streams because we do a cello special educational thing every single week. So we're very familiar with this technology. But this is Alva McDonough, everyone, joining us live from Dublin, Ireland. And Alva is just one of the most hardworking, incredible women I know. She's an amazing international cellist and composer. She's on cello faculty she's on faculty, I should say, at the Royal Irish Academy of Music. And we're just delighted to have you here. She's an incredible chamber musician, and she is composing for the festival this summer a world premiere string quartet based on the life of John Brown and the general area. So Alva, tell us a little bit about what your plans are, what you're thinking about the commission so far, how you're approaching it.
Well, it's such an honor to be asked to play. I've been researching a lot of the history of the local area, and it's really fascinating. Myself and my fiance are very interested in hiking, and of course, you know, the Appalachian Trail Harpers Ferry is right in the middle. They call it the halfway point, actually. So yes. Apart from just the historical context of the place, I'm always fascinated with, you know, Copeland and all of his aesthetically compositional pieces. Thinking about that area, there's just so much scope there to really create something beautiful, something immense. And then throw in the historical nature of the area, that everything from having this kind of unrest and the takeover, and really someone trying to do something good for, I suppose, anybody who's been a slave, or the history of that. It's really quite exciting. So it gives so much aspects. I'm thinking about, you know, the trains, all the people coming down, and the gunfire. There's so much scope there over the kind of umbrella of the 10-minute piece that I'm going to compose for string quartet. So very exciting.
Wow, I'm very excited to hear it. I love Alva's music so much. And I guess we should just do a very quick aside about John Brown, because I am aware that some people are watching from other parts of the world and might not know who he was, but he was an abolitionist who led an attempted slave revolt that attempted to take over, well, they did take over the arsenal in Harpers Ferry, and it's often seen as a precursor or a very tragic prelude to the Civil War. So it's something that we're really, really focusing on this year's festival, and it's great to have Alva's work as part of that celebration and discovery. So Alva, another big thing, I mean, you're always doing big things, but Alva in the past year received a grant from the Arts Council Ireland, I believe, to write a solo suite. Is that correct?
That is correct. So I wrote a solo suite for cello in 6 movements that were based around the Bach suites, except rather than having 6 old dance styles, that I'd have contemporary dance styles. So they're things like the Charleston in it, the tango, all kinds of dances that I researched. So a similar style of suite, except very, very kind of edgy and really quite fun, actually, if I'm allowed to say that about my own piece.
Yes, you are. I'm sure it is. And you're going to perform a movement of your solo suite for us today, is that right?
I am. I'm going to play the 4th movement, which is the ballet, entirely written on harmonics, which is an interesting thing to do as a composer in itself. So I suppose I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. Alva, that was so stunning. Oh my God, what a beautiful performance. I so hear the Copeland in that, you know. It's a perfect choice for today's concert because it's daytime
I
some
thought
places.
so. I'm glad you liked it.
Oh, I can't
Thank you
wait
so
to
much
like
for having me.
have a go. Yes, it's great. It's great to have you here, and I'll see you soon, Alva. Thanks again. We look forward to hearing your music. Bye. And as you all, I mean, I meant to say this earlier, but we're well into the history, nature, and culture section of the evening, and we're really near the end now. We've got a few more guests coming on for performances. So I'm going to introduce our next festival artist, Delcho Tenef, who's waiting in the wings. Here he is. Hello, Delcho.
Hey, Katie. How's it going?
Hi, great to have you here. So Delcho Tenef is a violinist in the Colorado Symphony in Denver. He's originally from Plovdiv, Bulgaria, which is important because of what he's going to play for us this evening. And he's played all over the place, all around Europe, all around the US, and I think premiered with his twin brother live on Bulgarian national television when he was 12. So Delcho is just a very infectious, enthusiastic person whose love of music really infiltrates everywhere, I think, when he's around. So Delcho, tell us a little bit about what you've prepared to play for us today.
This is going to be a Bulgarian dance called Rachenica by the Bulgarian violinist and composer Peter Hristoskov. It's, you know, dancing is big in Bulgarian culture. Every time there's a party, when there's music, there's dancing. So this piece, it's a short piece, but it should be very evocative of a party night in the village. So lots of joy, bagpipes, you know, goats, donkeys, and, you know, all of that.
Sounds good. I don't know if we'll get any goats or donkeys in Harpers Ferry this summer, but you never know. Great. So this is, say the name of the work one more time, Delcho.
It's called Rachenica, which is a Bulgarian dance in 7/8, where so the rhythm is going to feel a bit uneven, but it's, yeah, this is just typical Bulgarian dance.
All right. Looking forward to it. I'm going to bring on our next guest too, which will make sense in a second, but everyone clap for Delcho. That was amazing. What a fantastic performance. You could really get the party atmosphere out of that piece of music, I think.
Good. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to have Delcho on for a second while I introduce our next two festival artists and the final performers for this evening. We have Coco Dulgerski and Leah Kovac, both playing viola in the festival. Welcome to you both.
Hi, Katie. Hi, Delcho.
Great to see you. And the reason why I thought I'd keep Delcho on is because there's just an extraordinary coincidence and really special connection, which is that Coco is also from Plovdiv, Bulgaria, and also lives in Denver, Colorado, as does Leah. Leah is also in the Colorado Symphony Orchestra. So this is just an incredible coincidence that I think is something that's so special. Sometimes we have these things in music. We often say, oh, the music world is so small. So I thought it'd be just great to chat with you both about, Bulgaria and your connection, how you bring those roots to what you do in Denver. But first, let me just quickly introduce Leah and Coco are both co-artistic director of the Torrey Chamber Music Festival in Utah, as well as they run their own duo called the Viola More Duo, best name ever. And you've probably guessed they're married since they're sitting in the same room together, not socially distant. I think I've said enough. They've both had illustrious performing careers. I know we're running a little behind time and I really want to get your performance in, but Coco is principal viola at the Central City Opera. Leah, as I said, is in the Colorado Symphony, plays quite regularly as a freelancer with the Philadelphia Orchestra, and they're just incredible people and musicians. So welcome again. And do you guys want to chat a little bit about how you've kind of brought your roots to what you do in Denver?
Delcho?
It's just an incredible coincidence, as you said, because, same as every other performer we've seen on the show so far, like, I know I've been so close with every single one of those people at some point in the last 20 years. Coco I've known the longest because we had the same violin teacher in Bulgaria from when we were 6 years old until on and on. Then I met Leah being your roommate, Katie, at Indiana, and now we're all in Colorado. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's amazing. And maybe Leah and Coco, could you guys say a little bit about what you've prepared for us today?
Sure. We're going to be performing Kenji Bunch's you'll hear a performance of us playing 3 American folk hymn settings by the Portland-based composer Kenji Bunch. And we're really always excited to play new works by fellow violists. That's just really cool. Kenji Bunch is really well known for sort of his fusion of different bluegrass and folk styles with classical music. So I think that's really fits into a lot of the styles that you are featuring today in this event.
Great. Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to, without further ado, put on this wonderful performance that remind me where you recorded this, and it is a beautiful space.
This was recorded at Montview Presbyterian Church here in Denver with the video editing by John Gerner. We were super lucky.
We're super lucky to have this as our finale of this performance today. So I'm going to take you guys off and listen to this great concert, and we'll be back at the end for some Q&A and all of the rest. So here we go. Yeah, and Coco, that was just such an incredible finale to today's concert. So thank you all so, so much. And thank you to everyone who's been watching online and at the barn. It means tremendous amount to us. I just want to let everyone know that as of 2 p.m. today, almost all of our tickets are now on sale, and there's a link below. You can also go to our website, appalachianchamber.org, and you'll find stuff there. And please, please, if you're at all able, please consider donating to the festival. It makes such a big difference. Be part of something big, what we hope will be a huge, huge, inspiring thing. And you can see the link is just right here. Yeah, some pointing is not working for me, but you get the drift. You can also go to our website, and there's plenty of information there. Again, all of this is also below in the description if you're watching online. And we've just had so much incredible support from the local community, and it's really inspiring, and I feel completely sound in the fact that we need music now more than ever, and it is really what brings people together. So thank you all again, and we look forward to seeing you in August. Thanks to all of our volunteers and everyone who's helped. We're going to have a credits page up just momentarily, and I'll stick around on the chat for a few minutes if you're watching and able to type questions. I'm very, very happy to talk with you. Thanks all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye.